lineup for you this morning, and it starts off with the no interview, but I'm not still mad. We were supposed to have an interview today with a Vandy musician, which I had requested all of you guys who had listened last time come and see if you're a musician. If you know musicians, come contact us. But we did have somebody, but that person was not a morning person. So
I promise, though, we will get you an interview for next week for sure, because I know a few people, and I am sure that we will get at least one of them here.
The bold claim.
Yeah, that's my first bold claim of the show. Speaking of bold claims, okay, actually, wait, before that, just to tell you, I just played 2 songs, because last week we were saying how we have some great Montreal bands. So the first song you heard was Call Me in the Afternoon by Half Moon Run, and the second one was Normal People by Arcade Fire.
Yes, Montreal band scene, I love it. I really do. I really love this thing.
I was going to get you some Damn Truth for today, but I couldn't, so you will definitely hear some next week, because you have to hear it. Okay?
Damn truth.
You need to hear it.
Anyway.
And speaking of bold claims, I made a supposed bold claim last week that was not so bold. If you remember, I did say that Leo DiCaprio would definitely not win the Oscar, and I was right.
Yes, you were right, and you also called Matthew McConaughey as a dark horse, and you were right about that as well. I don't know what to feel. I need to go to my corner and sulk for 5 minutes.
My feelings are actually more conflicted than yours right now, because I was very happy to have predictions right, because that made me feel, good about myself. But at the same time, I wanted Leo to win because he's number one, and I felt really sad.
He's such a great actor. But you know what? In a quote after the Oscars, he said yeah, it's I enjoy acting for what it is, not for winning Oscars or winning other awards. But I mean, yeah, it's not always about the Oscars, but it'd be nice to see him get rewarded.
I don't think it's ever about the Oscars. I don't think there's one actor or writer or director that goes into the business just so that they can win that one award. I think that if you're really passionate about it, you just do it because you find it fun and because mostly you're good at it, and you hope that people you'll hope that people will appreciate you, and if they don't, well, I don't think that really matters to you either. So,
All right. For the best actor was Matthew McConaughey in
Dallas Buyers Club. Dallas Buyers Club, and 2 of the acting categories actually won awards for Dallas Buyers Club, because there was also Best Supporting Actor won by Jared Leto, which I also said last week would happen. And no, I was actually really happy, and I have to say his speech was really nice, because lately the award season has had the worst speeches I have ever heard. I mean, it was started at the Golden Globes, and I couldn't even watch it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really liked his speech, because apparently his mom was a single mom, and she was a teenage mom, and she raised him and his brother, and I have to say they're doing great now. He's the frontman of 30 Seconds to Mars, which is a great band, and I'm going to play you one of their songs later. And he's a fantastic actor. I remember my favorite film with him is Fight Club. He played, I believe the character's name was Angel Face, but I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that.
Quoted.
And yeah, I loved him in Fight Club and Requiem for a Dream, and now he was fantastic in Dallas Buyers Club, so he really earned that Best Supporting Actor award.
Yeah. It's hard, though, when you're talking Oscars, it's hard to sort of single out a performer, but you kind of have to. But there's some performances, I remember when Heath Ledger was nominated posthumously for the Best Supporting Actor, that year wasn't even close. It was just Heath Ledger was on another level. And then this year, I found that it was a lot harder to predict.
I did also. When I was making my predictions, I found it really hard because everyone was just so much better than usual. And it's
a tough year.
It's a really tough year. It was a fantastic year for movies. And I know they say that every year, but I really mean it. And I didn't say that last year.
Les Miserables Festival.
Yeah, that's what it was. And then Meryl Streep was... she wasn't nominated, but she was nominated this year, and it was the 18th nomination, and everyone's talking about that.
Okay, Meryl Streep is a baller. She is one of the best actresses, if not the best actress, in Hollywood, right?
Arguably.
It doesn't even, yeah, it doesn't even, though for me it doesn't even come close, because when you can be in movies and people not know who you are.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, I've seen Meryl Streep movies where she plays one small bit in one tiny role, and you have no idea that's Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
That, for me, that's when you've made it. You're like one of the better actors. You're upper echelon.
No, I like her. I think they should be giving other people a chance. So I was a little upset about this nomination, but I mean, she didn't win, so it's okay.
Yeah, but it's a nomination. It's just...
Yeah, that's it. Lupita Nyong'o won for Best Supporting Actress. And that was good because, I mean, like, this was pretty much her first big film, and it's nice to see an underdog win something, you know?
Yeah, it's always nice. Everybody roots for the underdog, and then you have cue the Hunger Games quote where it's like, I don't root for an underdog. No, I honestly, I like the Oscars this year. I didn't get to catch them live because I was at work.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was at work during the Oscars, but apparently, live. It was pretty intense because by the time I came back, everybody had already spoiled everything for me. So it was just like, oh.
Well,
right.
I saw the whole thing live, and I have to say, first of all, I mean, there's a lot to say, but first of all, John Travolta's messing up of the name there. He said, I can't remember what he called her. It was like Adele.
Yeah, I don't
Adele,
know.
Yeah, but he royally messed up her name.
It's like, but it's funny because Adele is pretty, you know.
Her actual name is Idina Menzel, and he called her something like Adele Dazeem.
Oh, God.
And if you ask me, that's not even close.
Not even.
So I don't know how he managed that, and I have to say I was freaking out a little. And I didn't even want her to win. I'm sorry for all of you fans of Frozen, but that was not who I was rooting for.
It was not a great movie.
It was not a good song, if you ask me.
No.
But I still felt her pain. That was a really bad mess up on his part. And yeah, I feel he should apologize for that because it wasn't even a small mispronunciation. He basically changed her name.
But I don't know. Like, the guy made a mistake. I would cut him some slack. But I want to go back to Frozen because everybody's talking about Frozen. I did theater. And when I was in theater, the big thing was Glee. And I'm guessing now everything is Frozen because it's the new musical. What a piece of garbage. I cannot believe. That's my bold claim. I don't care who criticized me for it. I hated Frozen so much. It was so cheesy. It was terrible. It was so, like, cliche. Everything about it was cliche, and it's not something I've come to expect from Pixar or Disney. So that, for me, was a letdown and a half.
I haven't actually seen Frozen, so I can't say. But the only thing that annoys me right now is, first of all, that, you know, like, everyone likes the song, and like I said, I'm not a massive fan of it. I mean, it's not a bad song, but yeah. But
the chorus is good. That's it. Nobody, if you ask somebody to sing "Let It Go," everybody will say "Let it go, let it go," and then they don't remember anything else from the song.
Yeah. No, but what bothers me is that everyone's sort of saying it's the first Disney film to say that, like, you don't have to get married right away to a man or whatever, and that's rubbish because there was. I'm sorry.
Rubbish. Yes, we are breaking out the best type of answers ever.
I'm sorry,
British term for garbage, by the way, for anybody.
Hey, everyone knows that.
Not everybody does know
okay,
that.
Well, sorry.
We're catering to all of our listeners.
I'm sorry. But, no, but Brave, actually, had to do with that first. So I don't see why everyone keeps saying that this is the first one that is good for feminism, because it's the second. So
well, actually, there's a lot of these films, and I think that the whole feminist aspect of it, where it's like you have to be pretty, you have to be like, you know, it's not necessarily promoting that. It's just a story. I mean, originally, you want them to stick to the script? Have you ever read original fairy tales? They were meant to scare children into obedience to their parents.
Yeah, they're quite scary. Like in Little Red Riding Hood, for example, there's at the end of the fairy tale, there's a segment, and you know, like, we don't see this in newer versions, but there's actually a segment where the grandmother the grandmother does get eaten.
The grandmother.
Then then she gets baked into like a pie, which is fed to Little Red Riding Hood, and then Little Red Riding Hood is raped. So basically, little kid stories.
Great in radio talk. Like, oh my god, that's just morbid fairy tale.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, all fairy tales used to be dark and then were transformed into these nicer sort of
little Disney movies that we all see and we all go, ah. And for me, it's just, the first feminist movie was actually Mulan.
Yeah, Mulan.
Mulan was the great. It was funny because it broke off like the fact that it's like you had to be beautiful. In fact, it mocked most of those kinds of stories where it's like, she's preparing to be the wife and like all of the preparations that go into it, and she gets makeup, she has to act a certain way, wear certain things, and then she just says, no, I'm gonna go fight for what I believe in. And that for me was a big break in Disney film.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That was one of my favorites when I was growing up, and it still is for that reason. And going back to the Oscars, we all talk about Leo DiCaprio losing, but there's someone else who lost that I am super sad about, and that's Amy Adams.
Oh.
It was actually Leo's 4th loss, but it was her 5th.
Oh my god.
And I can't stand seeing her lose anymore. And I don't want to see it happen again. I need her to be nominated and to win next year, or I'm gonna be very depressed about it, because she was amazing in all the movies she was nominated for, and she never gets it, and it's very frustrating.
But it's like that sometimes. It's like the drop of the ball. It's not clear cut. Where there are some years where everything's just bad and there's that one decent movie, and because it was the decent movie, it won all sorts of awards.
It's not just that. Like, Heath Ledger didn't win an award. He was nominated, but he didn't win an award until after he died. There's Peter O'Toole and Paul Newman that it took forever for them. Or Alfred Hitchcock only won a Lifetime Achievement Award in his whole life. That's crazy if you ask me. I get the feeling she's going to be another one of those, and that saddens me because, we should be acknowledging her. She is really great. So, even Kate Blanchett, who took the award, gave a shout out. She gave a shout out to all our fellow nominees, like everyone always does. But she gave a shout out particularly to her because she knows that she keeps losing, and you sort of saw that she sort of felt like she should have gotten it because Kate Blanchett has won before, and so
it's not always in the winners, and it's the same for the Grammys. It's the same for the Grammys. Hendrix never won a Grammy.
Yeah.
And The Who never won a Grammy. You can't talk about these legends, and you're telling me it's like Hendrix, possibly the best guitarist of all time, ever.
The Who, I've never heard anyone better on vocals or bass.
Great combination.
Or it's just the best band ever created, and they never won.
Bold claim.
I'm sorry.
The Who is the best band ever created. Led Zeppelin?
I like Led Zeppelin. But I'm sorry, Roger Daltrey has a better voice than Robert Plant, and I know I'm gonna get slack for that, but it's true.
Oh, this is turning up the heat, and we haven't even gone to the second segment yet. We're still on the Oscars.
Actually, taking a small break from the Oscars, I just mentioned the 30 Seconds to Mars winner, Jared Leto, winning, and I just want to play you one of their songs a second so that you get an idea of how they sound.
Nice. This is going to be awesome. So we're going to fade in after that, and after this, we are going to discuss the parody in movie trailers. And Franca...
Oh, wait, we're not done the Oscars, though.
No, yeah, we're not done the Oscars. But wait, we're not, we've covered the main points, but after we're going to segue into the parody of movie trailers, why I do not like them, and why everybody should not always judge the movie by its trailer.
Fun at the Academy sort of took a nudge at them for not giving him an award while he was alive.
Yeah.
So
but it always works like that. You can only give so many awards, so
yeah. But anyways, it was sad that he passed away, and then I was very saddened by Philip Seymour Hoffman's death, and
it was good.
I mean, I have to say he was the greatest actor I've seen in years, and I mean, he was just so versatile and so talented, and I idolized him for years, and I never really get necessarily too saddened by the passing away of an actor, because I didn't know them personally.
Yeah.
But I've looked up to him for so long. So he needs to be mentioned. And I have to say that his most overlooked performance has to be his performance in Almost Famous.
Yeah.
Because I'm studying to be a journalist, and if there's one film role that sort of nudged me even more so to go in that direction, it was definitely him in Almost Famous. The tips that he gave the main character just sort of stuck with me. So yeah, he's gonna be greatly missed, and I'm trying not to cry right now. So move on.
All right, so we're not gonna get Franca to cry right now. Instead,
wait, I forgot. Shout out to Montreal.
Montreal, yay!
Because we won Best Short Documentary this year. And I am ecstatic about that.
We didn't win as a collective city, but yes, a director from Montreal.
Yeah, the Lady in Number 6, it was called, and it was based off of a Holocaust survivor who unfortunately passed away exactly a week before the Oscars. But still, the film about her won, and I have to say I'm really happy.
Really happy. Good job, Montreal. Keep it coming. I mean, we have such a great film, like we mentioned last week. We had such a great film industry here, and we can really spark and inspire a lot of up and comer directors. Because I know there's a massive art scene here in Montreal.
Yeah.
And whether or not that continues to say 20 years, we don't really care about that, because right now it seems as if it's blossoming, and it's really like taking over the city. It's really fun to watch. Well, besides hockey, but like hockey's an automatic. We can't just exclude that. Anyway, so instead, I have a plan to not make Franca cry, and I really don't want to see a girl cry, so I'm gonna make her mad.
Oh no.
It's time to discuss movie trailers.
Okay. Yes, this is the one topic that no one wants to discuss with me because I get very heated about it.
Oh my god.
So
I do.
Keep it coming.
I don't want to discuss this with you precisely that it's going to make good entertainment, and that's what we want. Anyway, so Franca, we have an epidemic nowadays in modern film.
We do.
We have an epidemic that the trailer is so great and the movie is so terrible. Shout out to all those trailer guys that make money off of making terribly amazing trailers out of terrible movies. I nearly swore there because it's just garbage.
There should be Oscars for trailers. It's just the art of making a trailer. What goes into that?
Best trailer, Inception horn.
Except Inception was a good movie.
Yeah, Inception was a good movie, but horn.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear the horn part. I didn't hear the horn part. Yeah.
In trailers, it's so much so prominent now. After
that and also muted sounds just all the time. Just like, I don't know. It's to the point where it's overdone sometimes. But
we live in a world full of teaser trailers. We have a trailer to the trailer of the movie. How sad is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're doing it for TV shows also. But yeah.
Oh my god. I'm not really looking forward to any of the TV shows, any of the reboots, except for maybe one, and that's Heroes. Heroes, they really, really did a number on.
I actually don't watch much TV. The only TV show I watch is Doctor Who. But anyways.
Doctor Who. Yeah. No, TV trailers are really trying to promote their shows, and TV shows tend to be a little bit slower than movies because movies have 2 hours, TV shows have 2 hours a week, and it usually sort of tells the whole picture in TV trailers, which I find is worse because you get the actions from episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, compile them up into like this awesome trailer, then you have all this downtime in between. It's just not representative of the show.
No, it's not. And back to film trailers, I still remember my first film trailer disappointment.
Oh my god.
I was in Sec 3, so it must have been like 3 years ago. Yeah, it was 3 years ago.
So young.
Back in my innocent days.
Yeah.
When I first started writing for my school paper as the film critic, and I used to look out for trailers all the time because, I had to go out to the movie and actually watch it and write about it.
And actually watch the movie.
And, yeah. And at that point, it was it was in my first few weeks, so I hadn't really seen anything bad. I was still giving like 4.5 stars and 3.5 stars to films, and then I saw this trailer for a comedy called Due Date.
Oh my god!
And
you actually watched it. I did not get coaxed. I did not fall.
I did not know any better back then, and I watched it, and I hated it.
I never paid
so much
to watch that movie.
I hated it with a passion. It was the first film I actually gave like 1 star to. It was just so bad. And to this day, whenever I hear about this movie or Zach Galifianakis, and I love Zach Galifianakis, but I can't look at him anymore without feeling a little sad, because it's just, I was so looking forward to that comedy, and then there were so many scenes that were in the trailer and were cut out of the final cut, and so it wasn't as funny, and it was just, it dragged on for too long, and it was just, no, it was awful, and
Terrible in every sense of the word. For me, it's probably recently. I'll go back to last week's joke, Winter's Tale.
Oh, God.
That trailer had pretty much everything you'd expect a trailer to have. Basically, it had a love plot narrative, and then it had this person who's being chased by Russell Crowe, and then, oh my god, out of nowhere you travel through time. So the trailer made it seem like the whole premise of the movie was the fact that he lost his lover by traveling through time.
Yeah, right? That's what I thought it was about.
And it is just so not that. It is so not that. And it's just like, and it's saying like, oh, they have to stop miracles. And after this. And then it's just like, they waited too long to introduce the time travel narrative. So the secondary characters in the movie didn't get enough time to set up their character. And it was just a flop. I think I paid to go see that movie. I never pay to go see movies, and I paid to go see that movie. That is sad, and it's worse for me because I went with my girlfriend. And my girlfriend, obviously, I wouldn't have seen that movie alone. I didn't get too impressed by the trailer, but my girlfriend thought she thought it was gonna be great, so I trusted her opinion, and she still hated that movie. She hated it so much that we were like, oh my god, just end. And you know what?
And she actually even, like, to the point where she texted me in capital letters saying, do not watch it.
Do not watch this movie. Yeah, movie trailers are just so bad. And you know what? I thought the one mistake I've ever made, sometimes I'll watch a trailer and I'll decide, I thought that World War Z was going to be a terrible movie. So, and it wasn't a terrible movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't too great, but it was okay.
Actually, I've had one of those experiences also. There was a film called Warm Bodies that came out, and I think it was last year, and it starred Nicholas Hoult, who I'm a massive fan of, but I watched the trailer and I'm like, oh, this is the worst premise for a film I've ever seen. Like, basically, like, this zombie apocalyptic world, and this human girl falls in love with this male zombie.
Oh yeah,
and
I
it's
remember
like,
that trailer.
It's hard for them to get together, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be the worst thing. And I hate rom-coms, just throwing that out there. That's just how I am. So I was like, this is gonna be the worst film I've ever seen, but I'm gonna go review it for Valentine's Day. And I have to say, to this day, it's still one of my favorites. So
oh my god,
it was a fantastic film.
I still haven't seen it because the trailer turned me off so much.
It was so well done, so smart, and so wonderfully, like, the makeup was done well, and it took place in Montreal, and you could see the Montreal settings. They didn't disguise Montreal, and each of the characters just had such fantastic personalities, and it was hilarious, and it was dramatic, and it was great. I loved it.
Another sleeper. Well, actually, I'll say like, I already said my sleeper, so I'm gonna say the movie I went in knowing it was going to be bad. What was it called? I forget the name, but it was with Thor, the guy who plays Thor, Chris
Hemsworth. Yes.
Yeah, and it was like, I forget what it was called, but it was something along the lines of Red something.
Oh, it's actually called Red Dawn, was it?
I think Red Dawn.
Yes, I remember that.
And oh my god, I knew it was going to be bad. I knew that movie was going to be bad because the whole premise of it was bad. Yeah. And guess what? it was bad. So it was like, for me, that was a relief. I was like, had it been good, I would have been like, oh my god, why did I do this? I was like, but it was bad, so I was kind of relieved. I was like, yeah, this is a bad movie, and I expected it to be bad, therefore I am right.
And then there's other trailers. It's very rare that it happens, though. But there was, on the topic of Chris Hemsworth, actually, there was a trailer for Rush.
Yes.
And I saw the trailer, and I fangirled. And then I'm like, I was scared to watch it.
Oh.
But I did watch it. And I have to say, that thing should have gotten an Academy Award nomination, if not a win.
Rush was amazing. But I knew that Rush was going to be great, simply because of the names.
Ron Howard?
Ron Howard. That's... You want a good movie with a good premise, with good directing? Ron Howard.
With the exception of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, sorry.
Yes, with the exception. Yeah, but that's... You see, that movie's more geared towards, like, little kids.
It was awful.
Oh, God.
Don't get me started on that.
Which, you know what? I catch a lot of heat for Frozen, for criticizing Frozen, because they're saying, oh, it's geared towards little kids, you know?
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because Disney always pulls it off. You can get a kids movie that'll be funny for adults as well, which they do it every single time they make a movie. Sorry, Monsters University, you're not part of this club. But
I haven't seen it yet. I've seen Monsters Inc., so I was scared to watch a prequel to that because I'm not for prequels, as I mentioned last week.
No.
But yeah, Rush was just so good, and it told the true story of Niki Lauda and and James Hunt.
Yeah.
And it was just so well done with the acting and the directing and the cinematography. Best cinematography I've seen in a while.
Speaking of cinematography, you know my girlfriend, but not everybody does, so I'm going to explain a little background. She is a photographer, and she's also a film reviewer. So she went to go see a movie called The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. And I was like skeptical. I saw the trailer. It was a slushy love film that was like... It had some cool parts to it that didn't make sense, and it's with Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller has kind of a reputation to make these kinds of terrible movies, and I have to say, it was a sleeper. That thing, the cinematography was so good, and apparently it was done by a professional. Like, everything, the movie was based around the shots for the movie. So basically, they went to places like Iceland, and even the color paneling, everything about that movie, it was so enveloping to watch because of what they used as filters, as technique goes, you know, the whole premise of it. It was just so great. It was such an entertaining movie, and when it comes out on Netflix or DVD, go watch this movie, please. Or do what I do and arr.
No, I don't support pirating when it comes to films. So.
I don't either. Don't worry. But I still do for some, because some movies just don't deserve my money. They don't.
Yeah.
Like Due Date did not deserve my money.
Oh gosh, yeah. Don't. No.
Anyway, so we're gonna move on back. Actually, we've been doing that for a while, and we're gonna introduce something called the Top 5 segment.
Ah, yes.
The Top 5 segment. And what this is we're going to choose a topic that was pretty much heated on the show. And during the break where we played the 30 Seconds to Mars song, we did this decisive decision-making on Top 5 for today. And we thought, considering that I made a bold claim this week on Frozen was garbage, and I still stand by it. It still doesn't. We thought we'd do top 5 Disney movies.
Yep.
In our opinion. Like, it's not necessarily... It's what impacted us the most. And for me, I'll start off the top 5 with... It's in no particular order. So first isn't my favorite, and last isn't my least favorite. So it's like 1 through 5 random, just top 5. So I'm going to start this off with Lion King, Mulan, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Anastasia, and Aladdin.
Nice.
What do you think of my list?
I say I agree with The Lion King.
The Lion King, yeah.
And with Mulan. And with Anastasia. I still remember when Anastasia first came out, I had been asking for the VHS. Yes, I still remember it. I actually still have my VHS.
Oh.
And
that's great, actually.
Yeah.
Sell to hipster.
I also play vinyls for music, but anyways.
That's not important now.
I had been wanting that for like weeks and just wishing to see it. And then when I finally did see it, I watched it repeatedly afterwards. And
Anastasia.
I still watch it sometimes. I love that movie so much.
And when I tell people my top 5 for Disney movies, because this is obviously not the first time that I've mentioned it, I usually get a lot of heat for Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I think that movie was so creepy. It was so creepy that it was entertaining. It was so scary in its premise. It was like this thing, you know.
Well, it was based off of a Victor Hugo novel.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, the whole premise of the Hunchback of Notre Dame is complemented by this extremely great score of music.
Yeah. And
it's just such a, in terms of musicals, one of my favorite movie musicals of all time.
Yeah.
Because it just had that music to go along with the gypsy scene, the French scene, and then the tension, and everything is enveloped by their musical score and the things that they bring up in terms of issues. It is real life creepy stuff. You're talking about a guy who in a villain has one of the worst Disney villains of all time, Count Frollo.
Yep.
This guy is a rapist, a abuser of women, doesn't like anybody, holds no regrets in terms of his decisions, and he's so delusional that he even has a song called Hellfire.
Yeah.
That he is being enveloped by this disgust, his utter disgust, and it's pulling him away from God.
Yeah.
You know, but he's doing God's will. So yeah, that was it.
I think it was incredible that they were able to adapt that into a kids film, because I mean that was based off of a Victor Hugo novel, and Victor Hugo is also the writer of the Les Mis in novel form. So just to give you an idea, his novels were not the happiest.
No.
So yeah, it's really great.
Yeah. For the Hunchback of Notre Dame, that. Rewatch it now. Rewatch it. I beg of you. Like, go and rewatch this movie now, and then you'll be amazed at what you missed, because it's one of those movies where it's just like, oh my god, that happened, and oh my god, I can't believe I didn't notice that when I was a kid. Anyway, Franca, your top 5.
My top 5. Okay, this is gonna be hard, but I would say, oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna regret this. Okay, well, number 1 is definitely Lion King.
Lion King.
Without saying, because that's what I would say that's actually the film that inspired me to become a critic in the first place.
Oh my god, The Lion King was the best.
Yeah, and
I know we didn't want to categorize it, but The Lion King was the best.
Yeah. I also like Brave.
Brave. You like Brave? It's in your top 5?
It's actually in my top 5.
Nice.
It took place in Scotland. It involved a character that was unlike anyone I've seen in a while, and that I could relate to very much, so I really like that. I also liked Hercules.
Oh yeah, Hercules.
Yeah. Hercules, Anastasia, as I mentioned before. And okay, I need a 5th one. I can't think of anything.
You can't think of it. So it's
Mulan. You know what? It would be Mulan.
Mulan.
I just didn't want it to be the same as yours, but you know what? Mulan, yeah.
I could almost hear them. What? No Beauty and the Beast?
Oh God.
What are you guys?
As a kid, I didn't like it actually.
The Beauty and the Beast is not that bad. It's just that with Disney movies, it's just I didn't like it. It was too preppy. I think that they could have gone darker. And had they been a little bit darker, it would have been sweet.
Oh wait, I changed the Mulan answer.
You already regretted your decision.
I changed my Mulan. Okay, I'm replacing Mulan with Little Mermaid. That's my guilty one.
Oh, I hated the Little Mermaid.
Most people,
but I enjoyed it, but I hated it. Like, I could see why people loved it and why it was a kids show, but it's just for a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what it is. It's just I don't even know why I like it. Like, as a critic, I would say that I shouldn't, but I love it with my whole being. So
it's a movie that you regret liking.
Well, not regret. It's just a guilty pleasure type thing, you know?
Yeah. You want to watch it in a closet with no one watching you watching it. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, what are you doing? Watching. Oh, shit. I'm watching The Little Mermaid. God, nobody, please don't look at me.
No, I just said it loud and proud. I do love Little Mermaid, and I always will. So.
Oh yes, The Little Mermaid. All the Disney movies are really great. If you've read the Pixar 26 tips for like proper film writing,
Yeah.
like they published a little bit of an article about that, or I saw it on the internet, and it was great. All of their values they hold at Pixar, like it shows why they make movies that are really great.
Yeah.
And they've planned it. They've planned it all. They've planned it all off of random ideas. Like, hey, let's make a movie about cars. Oh, great, nice. The Incredibles, which I'm still waiting for a sequel for.
Gosh.
The Incredibles was such an amazing movie. It was so funny and it was so entertaining, and I actually liked it.
I am the type of person who, no matter how much I like the first film, I almost wish I could just go outside with picket signs that say no sequels, please.
Oh,
I'm just
boo.
No sequels, no prequels, no remakes.
You wouldn't
That's how I
want a Les
am.
Miserables #2.
No, especially that it was based off of a novel. No, don't do that. And Star Wars, okay, fine. They made the first three films.
You're getting into some hot territory.
I am.
Just saying.
And I know I am, and I will go there. Okay.
Oh my god. Anyway.
Wait, no. I need to vocalize
You need to vocalize the Star Wars 8.
I liked the first three.
Yeah, as did everybody.
Unlike most people, I actually liked the prequels. But
Oh.
stop it there.
Oh
Do
my
not.
God. No, they're not. Now that Disney has it, they're not going to stop. They've already announced it.
That's my point. Disney has now announced that they're gonna make, I think it's something like 4 or something films. It's not even just one. And no, you should not be making more sequels or prequels to this. Okay, it was a nice story, but it's time to come up with something original. Like, there's only so far you can go with something.
Like Disney copied all those original stories from them, from all those old fairy tales. Sorry.
But even that, it's not so bad. Like, this is just... Like, George Lucas was great, okay, when he first came up with it, but... No, I did that one last week, so now I'm gonna bash this one. It's enough of this. Like, there's only so much I can take of the same characters. There's a point where you have to come up with new ideas, and there is so much out there to come up to inspire you for new ideas. Your own life, the lives of others, just sitting in a coffee shop. Just come up with something else, please.
Yes, I'll have to agree and disagree on that. Some, like, sequels can be done right. The Matrix sequels are probably some of the worst that I've ever seen. The Matrix was great. Reloaded was okay. And the Revolution was garbage.
Yeah.
Like, I think everybody has the same opinion on that. Like, nobody liked the third film. And nobody that I talked to. Like, there are some people that out there that are like, yeah, Revolution was okay. But I was like, no. Revolution just totally garbaged the story of the first 2 films. And the sequel, the Reloaded, I found that they managed to introduce so many new elements to the Matrix that it didn't really matter that much, like, as terms of plot narrative. It didn't really matter as much. It's just that at the end of Reloaded, when they started explaining the plot to Neo, that's when they started to screw up. Like, you saw, oh wow, this movie's great. Wow, nice. Ooh, I like it. Wait, what are they talking about? Oh my god, I can't follow this movie at all. Oh no, what? What is this? My mind is exploding, and you ruined the film. I hate this, but I love the first part. God, it's one of those films.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, there was that musical Grease all those years ago, and I loved the first one. And then I found out recently that they had actually made a sequel. Like, I haven't even heard of the sequel.
I've never heard of the sequel either.
I mean, what's the point of making all these sequels, you know? Like, I just feel like sometimes they're just doing it so that they can get money because they have nothing else to do. And that's what saddens me.
You just answered your own question.
Yeah.
Because they
want money. And that's what makes me sad, is that it's all about money. And I don't want it to be all about money. I want it to be about the actual art of filmmaking, you know?
those are the directors that actually do that kind of stuff. You never hear about them. They always do it for passion, but they never do it for the art. Like, they never do it for the money. And then you have the famous directors that only do it for the money. And it saddens me, because sequels are you often want a sequel, because you're like, okay, there's so much, this new world that you just introduced to us, there's so much you can explore in this. And the principle of a sequel should be that. But then just no. You introduce new aspects that don't fit exactly, and then out of nowhere you try and explain the complexity of this new world, why it is the way it is, juxtaposed to our world, and then it's just like, no, you're going too far. Come back to us. we need a level with you. We need to have a talk. Anyway, yeah, that is the whole sequel discussion. My opinion on it, Franca's opinion on it, and definitely we want to hear your opinion on it. So hit us up on the Venue College Radio Facebook page.
Yeah, our question of the week is definitely, what is your opinion on sequels?
The sequel opinion. Do you like them? Do you not like them? If they're done right, how is it good? And we have 10 minutes left of the show, so we have one topic to talk about.
Heavy MTL, the lineup.
Heavy Montreal.
Yes, I know. I'm used to saying MTL.
MTL.
Well, because it's a play on words, Montreal and metal.
Yeah, I know, but
which I think is smart.
It's smart. I don't like the way they changed the name. Anyway.
Okay.
So,
they announced the lineup this past week.
I'm so excited for this lineup because it includes one of my favorite bands when I was younger. But anyway, go ahead with the lineup. I'll do a ding sound when you hit them up.
All right. So, I'm gonna mention 8 of the headliners. Mm-hmm. So they're Slayer, Lamb of God, Offspring, Anthrax, Bad Religion, 3 Days Grace, Dropkick Murphys, and Metallica.
Yes. Where's the ding, you asked? Because you skipped over it. I didn't have time to do it. But it was The Offspring. The Offspring was one of my favorite bands when I'm so glad that they're going to come to Heavy Montreal. And by the way, can we do a small segment on how the name changed? I don't like it.
I like it because I think it's smart on wordplay. MTL can stand for metal or it can stand for Montreal, and it stands for both. So that's why I like it. Yeah,
no, the old name, but the new name is Heavy Montreal.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm still using the old name.
Yeah, the old name is still the best. Sorry, Heavy Montreal. It's still Heavy MTL.
Yes, it will always be Heavy MTL to me. I'm not changing.
Yeah, no.
Also, I have to say, I'm super excited for Dropkick Murphys and for Bad Religion to come here.
Okay. Bad Religion. I like Metallica. There's also Apocalyptica that's gonna be there.
Yeah.
I'm excited for them. Lamb of God, Offspring, but there is one omission. Very big omission. They decided not to come this year. That is Avenged Sevenfold.
That is actually, I was very sad.
It was such a letdown because they said they were teasing us. They're saying, yeah, we might, and then in the end they just don't.
That was the one thing I really could not stand about this lineup. I looked at it and I felt a little empty just because I really wanted to see them.
Yeah, it's a good lineup, but it's lacking some Avenged, and a lot of people hate on Avenged. A lot of metal fans are weird like that, where it's they like a band till they start to produce another album, and then they're just nope.
Yeah. No, I've been a fan for a while, and I will always be a fan of theirs. I don't care.
Avenged Sevenfold. Why did you not choose to come? It would have been so... last year's Heavy MTL, I think, wasn't that great. I don't remember the exact, whole lineup.
I didn't even get to see it because I was sick, but there was this one smaller independent band that I had wanted to go see, and they're called Slaves on Dope, and I'm not sure if they're here again this year, but if they are, I'm totally going. But if you haven't heard of them, check out their songs. They're really great.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So, for the evolution of Heavy Montreal, or Heavy MTL as we like to call it, it's gone a long way because The Offspring is not a metal band. Not a metal band. You're going to hear a lot of different types of rock here.
Well,
it's getting classifying into punk and sort of indie rock is going in there too.
Well, even Dropkick Murphys, I don't know if I would definitely call them metal. They're sort of more
borderline.
Yeah, they're borderline. So
Yeah, I mean, Metallica is, Metallica, but
Yeah.
they're still playing.
Yeah.
There was a good show, but I mean, it's kind of depressing to not see Avenged Sevenfold on there. I'll be quite honest.
I was really sad by that. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I was having an interesting conversation with my music teacher, and he was talking to me about a conversation that he had, and it was a good conversation. It was at what age should musicians stop performing and touring?
Oh, I do not like this question because
there's so many...
Okay, my very first concert was 2 years ago. I went to see The Who.
Mm-hmm.
Roger Daltrey just turned 70, which means he was 68 at that point. And I am telling you, he sounded exactly the same as as in his 20s, as in his 30s. He was amazing, and I never want him to stop touring until he dies. That's all.
Oh my god. You're like playing him as a monkey. It's like pulling the strings, like, hey, dance for me, puppet, till you die.
I need him to keep singing, and I need Pete Townsend to keep playing guitar. Like, I need them to come back to Montreal because I need to see another concert with them.
Yeah.
And I don't care how old they get. So
I like Styx. Their concerts are always fun. Their songs are all great. I like Rush. Rush is a good band to go see.
There's no one better on the drums than him.
No, that's not really debatable at this point.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. I do sort of agree with some of the... Like, have you ever gone to an AC/DC concert?
No.
Okay.
I've actually only been to the Who concert so far because I have no money. But yeah.
Yes, as is a common problem with the average college student, we have no money. Anyway, we got the time, we got the energy, we just don't have the money. Anyway, I was talking about the whole Styx thing, and what was I gonna say? Oh yeah,
AC/DC.
AC/DC concerts. AC/DC concert, terrible.
Okay.
Brian Johnson's voice has just turned from like sound to...
Most people's voices actually do get worse as they get older. That's why I was in so much shock when Roger Daltrey sounded the same.
Yeah, but I mean, Roger Daltrey, he always he always sang a bit. Like, he always had that raspy, crazy part of his voice. Yeah. But he always managed to produce the musical notes. Whereas Brian Johnson, sometimes he just goes like...
Screams.
He just like is all rasp, and at this point he's like...
Yeah.
He can't really... That's why I don't listen to AC/DC all that much, because Brian Johnson's voice is just like... you can only get too much, and then after that limit is like tipped, it's like a full meter, and it's just like... And nope, I can't listen to it anymore. Anyway.
Alright, so since we only have... Oh.
No. Go ahead.
Since we only have a few minutes left, I am going to end off by saying something very controversial.
Controversial.
There is one song that I think should have beaten Let It Go more than the other ones.
Oh.
And it was from the film Her. And it's sung by Karen O. And it is called...
Wait, she's finding it. I'm finding it on her iPhone, but... Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's... What? Hang on a sec.
You're turning on the lights. So
it's called The Moon Song. Okay,
Moon Song.
That's what I thought it was called, but I was scared. Yes.
Okay.
It's called The Moon Song. So
we're
gonna end our show off that. But before we go,
all right. I just wanted to wish everybody a very good morning. Have a nice day. On behalf of me and my co-host, I will sign off soon.
And a nice weekend.
Have a nice weekend, and hopefully you guys can hit us up for some interviews. Young Vanier bands, we're still looking for them, and Vanier musicians.
Just inbox the Vanier College Radio page,
and we'll get it. We'll get it. So, on that note, thank you for listening for this morning show of That Show with John Lioumbas and Franca Mignacca. We are both